created the offices of sheriff, trustee, register of deeds, county clerk, and property assessor. I respectfully submit that that contention was rebutted back in March. Now, the latest response that was circulated, at least that I received over the weekend, really seeks to change legal horses in the middle of the stream. The latest response says this: the more important point, I'm quoting from that memorandum, the more important point, however, is that it does not matter whether these are new offices created by the charter or old offices somehow retained. Well, it did seem to matter a great deal in the first legal memorandum. But now, after I think it was shown that the Charter Review Committee in 2006 did not create new offices, all of a sudden it does not matter. My point is, the legal arguments being put forward in support of this resolution and ordinance seem to be a moving target. If they're rebutted once, then the basis in support of them changes. Let me read the ordinance that would be repealed if the ordinance put forward by Dr. Briggs passes. And it is, as stated earlier, it's section 2-478D of the Knox County Code. And subsection D reads as follows: the trustee, the county clerk, and all other fee officers not subject to the budgetary appropriations of the county for operation shall maintain in their fee accounts excess fees equivalent to 3 months operating and payroll expense. Now let me go back to that and quote the point and the part that I think is most apropos for this consideration and what you're looking at. The fee officers not subject to the budgetary appropriations of the county. This ordinance was passed in 1990. Our charter form of government just came into being. This was part of the original Knox County Code. And it was recognized at that point in time that these offices were not subject, from a legal standpoint, not a policy standpoint, not whether it was a good idea, but from a legal standpoint, not subject to the budgetary appropriations of the county. Now, the argument from the very beginning has been that the law already allows this vehicle, this mechanism. It doesn't. And this ordinance expressly recognizes that, and that's why Commissioner Briggs' proposal, part of what he's asking you to enact, the ordinance, would have to repeal this, because this recognizes that these offices are not, by law, subject to the budgetary appropriations of the county. I wanted to address a couple of things that Commissioner McKenzie mentioned. We all want certainty, and I sense that to a high degree, because each of you at one time or another has come to my office or called and asked a question, and we strive to try to give you the best answer we can. And some of you have observed, and I'll be the first to admit, what I am giving you tonight and what I've given you before and what I will continue to give you is my legal opinion. It's an opinion. You are not required by law to follow my advice. And Tom McAdams is an excellent attorney, and he has rendered an opinion. I try, in giving you my opinion, to give you the basis for it, and that's why in what I did before and what I submitted to you today, I gave case law and I argued to you why I was giving you that opinion. I didn't ask you to simply accept it because it came from me, but to give you a rational basis for following it. The legal memoranda circulated over the weekend said that, well, it really doesn't matter what the drafters of the 2006 amendment said. That's irrelevant and should not be considered. In what was circulated by my office today, we cited Tennessee Supreme Court cases that referred to the constitutional conventions that adopted amendments to the Constitution. They didn't simply look at the language, but they looked at what the drafters said, the actions they took, what they debated, and what they said in ascertaining the intent. And that's what we did in rendering our opinion to you, was go to the original intent of the drafters of those amendments. I'm going to close saying two things. A lot has been said tonight about efficiency in government, which obviously is a good thing. People say that government should be run more like a business. It should be efficient, costs should be cut, and obviously the taxpayers, those who are paying for government, want to see that. There's also another principle involved in government, and that's separation of powers. Separation of powers is very inefficient, but that doctrine, separation of powers, is also for the good of the people. And it's to guard against concentration of power in one person or one branch of government. From a legal standpoint, I reiterate that I don't believe that what is the subject of this resolution and ordinance can be imposed on these offices. By the same token, I'll repeat what I have said in every instance that this has come up. It can be done legally, and that is by the charter amendment voted on by the citizens of Knox County. Commissioner McKenzie asks, why is the law not certain? It's because it changes. The law is not static. It changes continually. We try to keep up with those changes, and we try to keep you abreast of them. And we, I hope, have been proactive in that regard. Let me say one more thing about the fear of a lawsuit. My office does not fear you being sued. We just want to make sure that we're on the winning side if we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lockett. Thank you, Commission, for this debate. It's been thorough and civil and a very nice example, I think, of the way things should work. So are we ready? Are there any questions? Is there any...
What are we voting on?
Is there any lack of clarity? We have no amendments, etc. So
no, I'm serious. We're voting on to approve.
We're voting to approve 950. Oh, yeah. This is for approval of Dr. Briggs' resolution to ensure compliance with the budget, etc., and operating requirements of Knox County. Okay, and I think a roll call vote would be in order. And we always start with Mr. McKenzie, and so let's start with Mr. Pinks.
Commissioner McKenzie.
No.
It's just a bad habit, right?
No.
Yeah. Mr. Pinks. No. Let's go that way.
Commissioner Brown.
No.
Commissioner Wright.
No.
Commissioner Armstrong.
No.
Commissioner Carringer.
No.
Commissioner Smith.
No.
Commissioner Lambert.
No.
Commissioner Anders.
No.
Commissioner Briggs.
Maybe the only one, but yes.
Commissioner Hammond.
No.
Commissioner Schaus.
No.
Commissioner Saunders.
Yes.
Commissioner Ivan Harmon.
No.
Commissioner Norman.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyles. Yes. Commissioner Mark Harmon.
Dr. Commissioner Harmon. Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie.
Yes.
No.
Okay, 6 ayes, 11 noes, and 1 recusal. The motion fails.